All right. Welcome to our Lost Caverns of Ixalan top 8 Megadraft here for Arena Gauntlet League. Mitch is here with me, and we're going to be following Joaquin's draft here. We'll talk about the players as we go on. We're going to have 6 different packs here, starting with Lost Caverns of Ixalan, followed by a series of different sets that were opened by the adventurers in our league. So, how does this pack look to you, Mitch?
I think I would start with the sweeper, even though it's a bit of a build around, sometimes situational. We're looking at the uncommons, not bad cards, but I think starting with the sweeper might be an idea. It is double black though. You're kind of tying yourself into black.
Yeah, I think
One.
I think this is an effect that will be supported though across the various random sets. Like aside from the pack of Kaladesh that's coming up next, which may have artifact synergies, the other packs aren't really going to offer too much synergy. But this card just works. Like permanents go into your graveyard naturally. Like that's what happens when you play the game. So it looks pretty good here. Interestingly enough, Joaquin is first time top eighter. We got 3 first time top eighters here. So we got 5 league veterans and we got 3 players who are all fairly new to the server. Joaquin's playing in his 3rd league. Robert as well is playing in his 3rd league, and Duncan's in his very first league. So they all made it here into the top 8 here, and he had a pretty easy follow up with Bitter Triumph here. We'll talk a bit
Yeah,
more about the players as we go on this evening. And I'd be looking at Join the Dead as the next follow up here, just to stay black.
yeah. Staying in black, Join the Dead and Tithing Blade is a pseudo removal card, but I think Join the Dead's a notch above. I guess Joaquin has not used Draftmancer before. I don't know if we're able to tell him to give us a better view of the packs here by sliding
Yeah,
down the thing.
you can send him a message and try and do that. I
Okay.
mean, we can, as long as he scrolls down, we can see the packs. Like he's scrolling down to show us the packs here. It looks like a dead weight is looking pretty appealing here. Just start with 4 removal spells. One of them a sweeper. Like I'd be pretty happy.
All right, send him a message. Maybe he'll do it. Maybe not. Don't
Yeah,
want to
no, I
distract him.
mean, yeah, he hasn't used the Draftmancer before, so look, we can still see his packs here. Yeah, and I think the Terratide and Join the Dead, despite having Descend on it, I think are going to be okay. I think any card that might ask you to descend every turn, that might be a bit of an ask with the random sets that we're including here, but. Join the Dead. I mean, it's just good. It's just good anyway. -5 is just excellent as it is. So this is about like without opening like a complete bomb. Like this is about as good of a start as you could hope for.
Um, uh, a deck that's based in black with lots of removal and low on creatures is something I tried to do in my league deck with a bunch of tithing blades in order to actually have a win con. I don't. I'm not gonna say that's what'll happen here, but it's my dream. Never actually worked.
Yeah. So looks like he may be branching off of black here potentially. I guess we'll see the last few cards. Yeah. Nothing of extreme interest among the black cards. He may just take one of them just to stay in it. But there's also a Petrify would probably be the next like best generic card here. Like we have 6 packs, which is a lot. They're going to end up with a lot of playables. So he has time to make up his mind here. Looks like he's going to be leaning towards playing black. And
Akawali is out, but he does have a descend going on already, but goes for petrify instead.
I think Petrify is just the best card here. So interesting. Back here, we've got a favorite of mine, the Cave Blazer, as I called it, the Sinuous Benthasor. But I don't think any Caves Matters cards are going to be making the cut here in this
Card of
draft.
cast before.
So Skullcap Snail, pretty reasonable card. Just a little, I call it the Burglar Rat effect. A little better because it gets exiled, but yeah, just a solid little 2-drop here. If you can
Nice.
sack it or do something with it to increase
It's
the
nice
value
that
of
it
it.
goes in the graveyard, and you don't really care too much if it goes in the graveyard. It helps with descend.
Oh, looks like Duncan
I
continues
had a
to
feeling that might
potentially.
happen. I had a feeling
That's
we were gonna see that.
oh, looks like he's slightly extended his draft viewer here.
Yeah,
Speaking of this pack, though, since we're looking at it, I'd be looking at the Spike Tail here. Just stay black. Might be just the strongest card in this pack anyway. And he's already obviously just wanting to take black cards. Like he hasn't really passed too much black. There was a Join the Dead, I think, in the same pack as the Bitter Triumph, but other than
yeah.
that,
That was a fine card. Even getting that buff for it turn on like a little life linker or something is usually nice when you play it out.
yeah, that card is just solid. Often, looks like he went for the Cave instead, just to have that flexibility. Like the caves are those caves are really good, especially in this set where most of the time your lands are just going to tap for mana. Just having anything that can replace a basic land is just such a huge upgrade, right? Like the Spike Tail, he's going to get other six drops. Is the Spike Tail going to be better than them? I mean, maybe by a little bit, but this hidden Necropolis is like 20 times better than a basic land. So makes sense to take it
Spike
here.
tail. At some point, you want spike tails to be swamped, but I don't know exactly the amount you want. I don't know what the upper bound is, but I'm really happy to have a
Spike
spike
Tail
tail.
is probably better than the average common six drop, I would say. But the Necropolis is just so much better than the land. And here's a Death Cat Marionette. The milling two cards is going to help. He does have the Terror Tide, so everything helps. And I mean, that green white gold card is very, very good. I understand nobody wanting to take it in the first 8 picks, and certainly doesn't really seem to be on plan with with what Joaquin's got going on here so far. But it is like a bit of a power outlier for me. But looks like he's just going to go with the black card here.
Laughlin is already well, he's bound to find stuff that he wants to sack. He already has a snail.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This pick is interesting. I kind of like the Fungal Fortitude. It took me a while to figure out how to draft a good black tech in Lost Caverns, but once I did, Fungal Fortitude actually made the cut almost every time. It was especially good with Chupacabras. But he took the Deconstruction Hammer here, just maybe as he does have a Petrify already, so they were just saying, well, it can destroy some problematic things. Not too many good cards here. Acrobatic Leap
I've had,
could make the cut.
I've had a fungal fortitude go all the way with a lifelink bat, just hitting over and over, no
Oh
answer.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
and,
you could just use it as a pump too. Uh, if you are
and it comes
in
back.
if you are in the market for face damage, you can just use it as a pump.
Sometimes. Yeah, I said lifelink. It was a lifelinker too.
Yeah, that's always good. Yeah, so rounding out the pack
Occasionally,
here, we're moving next into I believe Kaladesh, which it's kind of like Khans of Tarkirs from a few years ago. Some of the cards haven't necessarily stood the test of time, but still has some powerful things you could do. I know, and I was very happy when I saw this, that one of our top eighters, Robert, opened a Cloud Blazer, and actually it kind of affected what direction he went with his colors, and he ended up, winning most of the rest of his matches to get into top eight. So
Cloud Blazer.
even all
Was
those
it?
years later, we still see it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's Kaladesh Remastered next.
All right.
Not too familiar with all these cards, slightly before I started playing, but I have done some drafts.
Yeah, so that rare is pretty strong, just a little slow. The Sage Life Crafter. Um, Overall, this pack's not great. I think he might be looking at some of these cards too and wondering what exactly am I to do with them. Renegade Map is just a really good generic card. It's like a mana fixer.
The map. No, it's not. Live Fast, that's oh no, that's a draw card.
It's a draw two, lose two, and gain two energy. I think the rare is where you go here. Just it's powerful. It's a little slow, but it's a one drop, so you come down early, and it could just when you have the time, you can make ones, and then later you can make bigger creatures for more mana later.
Not really what you want a on white player to see. This card, I believe, saw constructed play.
Yeah. This was in the Constrictor energy decks. Um, in this format, it's probably going to be just a 2 mana 2/1 menace that maybe draws a card. during the course of the game, but
Yeah.
that's still good. I'd still play a 2 mana 2/1 menace that might draw me a card. It demands an answer either through blocking or through removal, and you might get a 2-for-1 with it. So yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah, you don't need to make an energy deck for it to
No,
work.
no. Yeah, so when it comes in, you get an energy, and when it attacks. So the second time you untap with it, you'll, if it's still there, you'll have 2 energy. If it got in an attack. So
Pincraft.
Weaponcraft Enthusiast is an okay card. Like it's 3 mana for 3 bodies, which is nice. He could be also looking at Hunt the Weak here, just as a removal spell. 4 mana fight and a +1/+1 counter.
Well, something like Fabricate's pretty nice if you're trying to do a sacrifice deck. I mean, a few of the cards are sacrifice related from pack one. The white black was the sacrifice theme. I'm just looking at Fabricate 2 with this Weaponcraft Enthusiast. You got 3 bodies that you don't mind using as fodder. Although I don't see too much besides Fanatical Offering, come to think of it.
Yeah, there was absolutely not a sacrifice theme in that set. Looks like he was thinking about the land as well. Looks like he ended up going Hunt the Weak. Maybe deemed the Weapon Grabs Enthusiast just not that interesting. Like you can get 3 drops that are better than that. It is a pretty unique effect, but still, I think he's reading the
Rogue,
Requisitioner here. That card just never quite worked out. Rogue
Rogue
Refiner.
Refiner was a fine card, was not.
It was banned in Standard, in fact.
There you go.
A 3 mana 3/2 draw card, make 2 energy. Ooh, he's taking the Requisitioner here. So this maybe it kind of looks like it's good, but it was quite a trap, honestly. It never really quite worked out. Just didn't quite do what you wanted. I believe it says whenever a non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you get a servo. So if you can find other artifacts to sack or get destroyed.
Yeah, exactly what it is. I just looked it up.
Yeah,
Non-token art.
and you can tap artifacts to make it cheaper. I'd be looking at Die Young here. Just a 2 mana -2/-2.
Yeah, little little energy too, if
Yeah,
that's up his alley.
just one card I do want to note here that seems a little late is the Ether Chaser. Just that card was very, very strong. But he already has a few removals, so he said, let me take a Weapon Graft Enthusiast here. Maybe I don't want to pass 2 of them.
It's like Die Young. So were those a pair? Did they do that in every color?
Well, no, it was a thing like Live Fast, Die Young, right? Sort
It was
of,
just those 2 cards. It wasn't a
yeah.
cycle or something.
No, it was just a little clever Etherborn thing. I think the idea was that Etherborns don't live very long.
I see.
All right.
Yeah, not the strongest cards.
Just take the black card here. It's a draw spell. It'll do. Ooh. Make obsolete. Like this is a card that was quite good, kind of a relic of a bygone era. Like when we rolled around to Ikoria a few years later, we got this at common with cycling, the same card.
Yeah, you want cycling on something if you're gonna something like that if you're gonna put in your deck. I would
I
think.
will say that Furious Reprisal is kind of a sign here. That card is quite good. 2 damage to 2 different targets for 4 mana, and I think he's gonna clock that and take it here. Yeah,
The red card, first red card picked up.
Dynavolt Tower, yes. I believe that was the only card in the entire block that cared about instants or sorceries. Or there was a mythic.
You get 2 energy print, instant sorcery. Okay.
Yeah, and you tap and pay 5 to bolt 3 damage to something. Alley Strangler is bad filler, unlikely to be able to make the cut, honestly. Whirler Maker, extremely slow. Some people liked it, but I always found it a bit too slow.
Strang and Wildsville Drain will have an adventure attached to it.
Look at that. It's a 2/2 that draws a card. Can't go wrong with that.
It's a 4 drop. If only it was a 5 drop.
Imagine.
It'd be buffed.
Imagine. Yeah, see, the Shielded Ether Thief was quite good back in Kaladesh, but because you can get energy from other sources than itself. But Malfunction
Oh
is
yeah.
it's a decent card. It's just a tapping aura.
Night Mark Lookout.
Looks like he
No, that
went.
wasn't.
No, he took the Alley Strangler, the menace, the 3 menace.
Oh, that puzzle knot has 6 energy on it.
Yep, that
So,
puzzle knot was played with the Etherworks Marvel back in Constructed. It gave you the 6 energy to use it right away.
yeah,
You
yeah.
go turn 2, play that. Turn 3, sacrifice it. Turn 4, cast your Ulamog for 0 mana.
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure I saw my highlights of Pro Tours back then using that deck.
interesting hazardous conditions there. It says creatures without counters on them get -2/-2. Maybe not the best card, but might be something you might end up being able to use here. Now we got Wilds of Eldraine, which doesn't really offer anything that jives or synergizes too much with what we've just seen.
I think Back for Seconds is a strong card in a vacuum. I know it wasn't the most played thing.
Yeah, Pack for Seconds really pulled its weight, and as did this giant here, the Stormkilled Vanguard. Just nice flexibility on it as an adventure, and the virtues were very hit or miss in that set. I believe the white and black ones were among the best cards in the set, and the other ones were cards you rarely ever played.
Yeah. What is this, like a Stifle or something? I forget. Not too much if you're a black-white player here, except for the bargain card, but it goes for Storm Kill the Vanguard.
We got an uncolor rare. I'm not sure about that card. I was never able to make use of that card. I know some people kind of found it interesting. Um,
Which one? Rest in peace.
the Rankle's Prank.
Oh, Rankle. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Rankle's Prank. I know I'm not supposed to like it as much as I do, but I like it. I don't know. It's just very high ceiling, very low floor kind of card because if you get the situation where they sack 2 creatures and you don't sack any, it's kind of huge. But
Yeah, but how behind are you when that happens?
yeah.
Well,
Whoa.
if he likes the
Is that a
first
second
one,
one?
and no, this is not a prank.
Honestly,
This is not a prank.
honestly, you can do a mate life in 2 turns.
It's face damage to both players, though.
Well, the draft is trying to tell him to get to do Rankle's Prank, so it's not a prank.
His fellow drafters are telling him, "Yeah, go do it. Be my guest."
They can't play around the second one. Here, there, Conceited Witch. So that was the card I was talking about. We just saw a 2/3 menace from
Yeah,
Kaladesh. There you go. It's 2 cards on 1 instead.
yeah, and we're going to be
Whatever.
opening Midnight Hunt soon, and that one has a 2/3 menace that transforms into something bigger.
Yeah,
So
a bigger
interesting.
werewolf.
The Gale Fanger. It's just a 4/4 vigilance. It gains haste if you have an adventure in exile.
Yeah. Uh, Not so much synergy if we're only 1 pack of woe here, but
I mean, stockpiling Celebrant I know was a fun card back then, but looks like he's maybe settling into black green here. The Stingblade Assassin, that's like a decent, okay effect to have. A flash flyer that kills something that was dealt damage.
the kind of card I think of immediately when very weird attacks happen is that card.
Yeah, but it's good because it's also a threat, right? 3 power flyer. Like I know it's 4 mana and you have to get in the right situation, but it also can kill something and it can get some damage in.
Yeah,
So
I think it's fine. It's just the card. It's just the card type of card I think of when weird attacks happen. What else do we have? Root Rider Fawn,
yeah,
Fixer, Ramper.
yeah, just a ramp creature that can also fix you. Decent here, but reasonably. I mean, I'm not gonna say late, but part 2/3 of the way through the pack. Seeing that is nice.
Looking quite Golgari
A
here.
third
2 rankles.
or so.
The 2 rankles pranks gonna be hard to ever. And the starting cards is pretty certain we're in black and looking like green as the second color at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty solidified in black after pack one. There wasn't too much getting out of it, and he's just solidified himself more here. It looks like he's going to be drafting a Golgari deck the rest of the way here, unless he opens something that really changes his mind.
60 cards. It's a 60 card deck. About half the cards aren't going to be used. I think 75 drafted cards.
Yeah, it's such a small amount. So he took which one? The genealogist, I think, there.
There is a genealogist in this pack here.
Yeah.
I don't see one in the deck,
Oh no, he took
unless
some.
it.
Oh no, he took the Fell Horseman, the adventure creature that
Oh,
can get a creature back to your
yeah,
hand.
yeah, it's a card.
So looking now at the genealogist, I mean, just it looks like he's might go for Tempest Art instead. No,
No, the genealogist.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the
it's
back,
hard to tell what he
yeah,
took, but yeah.
the back for second's wheeled actually, so that's kind of nice because that card was good. A little harder to use in this set. You're not going to have as many expendable things lying around, but maybe he will with the weaponcraft enthusiast and whatnot.
There should be something. Any token works, so tokens
Yeah,
are everywhere.
yeah, exactly.
And it's a for 3 mana at instant speed. I believe it's instant speed. You get a 4 drop.
It's a sorcery.
What is it?
Yeah, it would be a little strong, I think.
I don't know why I was thinking it was. No, yeah, it's a sorcery. I don't know why I was thinking that. Yeah, you could ambush something that would be too.
All right, so we're winding down the pack here. It looks like he's more or less settled into Golgari. I suppose he doesn't have so many green cards. If he sees something crazy in the first part of the next pack, he could change, but looks like Joaquin has settled in here. I believe we're going to. Is it Midnight Hunt? Yeah, here's Midnight Hunt.
Yeah, we have Midnight Hunt, AKR, which is Amonkhet
Yeah,
Remastered, and then
Amonkhet.
DMU to finish
Yeah, so
DOM-U.
kind of these disconnected sets that don't really do too much with each other. Though Midnight Hunt was a fill your graveyard kind of format, which does work with some of his Descent cards.
Chaos.
Yeah,
Dreadhound is a great card in that set. Looks like it should work fine with other stuff going on in the previous packs.
it just looks like it's good. Period. Like this card just looks like it's gonna be a standout. But he's going for
Ooh,
the Sprout instead. It was that card. That card could be pretty powerful. But
technically a synergy with Descent.
but sometimes it was just a one that milled you and didn't do much else.
Yeah, it's technically synergy with Descent. Maybe that's what he was picking it for.
Yeah, so he's got the on color rare here with the Slaughter Specialist. 2 mana, 3/3. Your opponent gets a 1/1 creature, but whenever one of their creatures dies, the Slaughter Specialist gets bigger. But looks
He's,
like he's going
um,
for one of the. It was like a mythic common in that set, the Diagraph Horde.
yeah, I was gonna say probably the two best commons of his colors right now in this from this set: Diagraph Horde and Eccentric Armor.
Yeah, Diagraph Horde was just one of the best commons in the set. Period. 5 mana, 3/4. Make 2/2/2s with Decayed, and you exile 2 cards from graveyard. Like that could have been an uncommon.
He'll probably be looking for a Morbid Opportunist at some point. I'd be lucky to find it, though, I would say.
Yeah, seems like a. Yeah, I think he put the requisition in the sideboard. He said, "I don't know what this thing's doing." All right, pretty straightforward removal
Defender.
spell here. Hits almost everything here. Defenestrate. Can't kill flyers because you can't throw a flyer out the window. I suppose
Nope.
it's kind of like throwing them down a well in a way. You're just tossing them out, tossing them to
Can't
their
really
death.
can't fly that well in a well.
Yeah. Delver.
There's the Delver. There's
Stop.
the Dawnheart Rejuvenator. It's a card that you can put in your deck, gain some life, fixes you.
Yeah, I think for our basic the way limited is nowadays, Donut Rejuvenator just seems way too slow. But I mean, card's good. I like it. Gain some life, make some mana. Bat Whisperer, a bit harder to
I'm not.
use.
Yeah, if I'm not splashing, I'm probably not playing it. Although you can side it versus aggro, 2/4 bodies against 3 life is pretty annoying to an aggro player.
Right. And next to it is a 2/2 that draws a card. Imagine that.
Search party captain.
I think he's just taking it out of the draft. He says, "Well, if I can't play it, nobody's going to play it." So Covert Cut
Uh,
Burst is another one of those destroy a creature that was dealt damage.
mhm.
It not having flash means you have to play it on your turn, but it does turn into a flyer after it dies. So that's pretty good.
Well, going for the synergy, he did take the Death Bonnet Sprout, so like looking to mill self a little bit. with
Turns
some of the
off
cards
descent. It
that
turns off descent. If you're disturbing
turns
it
it
from your
off.
graveyard, yeah, it takes a permanent out of your graveyard if you disturb it.
Oh yeah,
So,
reverse.
all right. So we got a pump spell here or a reach creature. 1/4 reach flips into a 3/5.
Yeah, it's the 1/4 reach of the set. Bunch of sets had those.
Most sets do. All right. So another bat whisperer. We saw one before. Another bird admirer and a blade brand. The blade brand was good with like decayed tokens. That was usually how we used it in that set.
Yeah, there's no way. It was cool in some of those imps that I don't know about this set, but I know it was a reprint from RNA. Yeah, RNA.
Yeah, I know
You had one.
there was some tricks you could do within an RNA. There was Footlight Fiend, there was Dagger Caster, and there's also Judith that all could deal damage. So if
Yeah,
you gave it
that's where
Death
it was
Touch,
best. I think
they could kill creatures. Yeah,
you draw a card, you kill two different things.
yeah. All right, so Hobbling Zombie, nice creature here, like just decent card filler.
Crawl from the cellar, not terrible. It's cards, but he goes for the zombie. Not a bad pick, I'd say.
Yeah, I really like Crawl from the Cellar. I kind of like it more than like the 3 mana get 2 creatures back. I like the installment aspect of it. The 1 mana front side just being so cheap.
Yeah, mostly because you could just play a creature right away and not fall behind on board after casting the first side.
Yeah, nothing much from the end of this pack. I think we're going what next into Amonkhet.
I'm on Cat Remastered, another set, one of the oldest sets on Magic. Oldest cards, I should say.
Yeah. So he's a 5/5 for 5 here. I mean, he doesn't have too many high drops. That, I mean, could make the cut. It's a completely reasonable card. Not something you're ever excited by, but it puts in work.
Colors are drying up. For if you're a green black player, in the end of the pack here, passing the other way should be better, I'd say.
Yeah, the packs were mostly light on his colors. Like even at the beginning of the pack, there was only like 2 or 3 cards that he would have wanted in those colors anyway. And there we get a rare last pick here. Not a good one. And off
It
to the
went
desert.
downhill from the Diagraph and Eccentric Farmer pack.
So
Went downhill.
we go from the caves to the deserts, and he's got a wealth of cards to choose from here, including a gold card here, the Obelisk Spider. That one was quite annoying. It's a 1/4 reach with a little bit better than the Bird Admirer, I would say.
Yeah, this is a neat card. Another 1/4 reach. Yes, we were just talking about how there's always a 1/4 reach.
Bone Picker is also excellent, and the Crocodile of the Crossing is very good too. So you can't really go wrong here.
-1/-1 counters now. What could we do with that with these other sets? Where's the proliferate? There's no proliferate in here.
Well, I believe his hazardous conditions says destroy or -2/-2 to all creatures that don't have counters on them. So if you put -1 counters on your own creatures, they won't die to the hazardous conditions, I suppose.
You
Though.
could save them from the -2/-2.
So he's going to take Bone Picker as I think the best card in his colors here, and maybe banking on that spider coming back around. I think he's hoping maybe I'll see that on the way back. And we got the good old fashioned Gravedigger, the OG, way back in the day in the mid '90s, I believe. I mean,
OG
basically any creature that comes in and gets a creature back, we just call it Gravedigger nowadays, and this is the origin of that.
stuff to get back with Gravedigger. Nothing bombs you're looking for.
He might be
Yeah,
looking at one of the 2 drops there. I know he gave Ronus' Stalwart a read, which was a pretty nice card. But it's a 2 for 1. It's a 2 for 1.
lethal things are a removal card. How freely can you put that -1/-1 on stuff is a question though.
Yeah, I will say his 2 drop slot is looking a little meager, and I think he's also coming to that realization here. This is definitely a curve consideration pick. I think with just 2 packs left, this pack and one left.
It's a
So
Scarab's Feast. Scarab Feast. You cannot ignore that card.
Scarab Feast is MVP of a feature match from Brothers War League. Like of all things, uh, very memorable moment.
To recreate it in this Megadraft here.
Well, we don't have unearthed cards to nab, so
Oh no.
he's reading start and finish, but not really able to really make white here, from what I can tell. To make use of that,
It is a nice card if that's your colors.
could pick up a Wonder in Death. Most of the other cards, he's gonna take it. You just have a couple things that could tap for any color, I think.
Well, he's trying to mill, so you can cast that from the graveyard, right?
Yep, you can mill it, and then it's just basically a Bone Splinters for 3 mana. It's like not. It's just sack a creature, kill something. It's yeah, like you're not breaking magic with this.
Discard it with your Bitter Triumph.
There you go. So looks desert here, pretty good cycling land. Just again, any upgrade to a basic land is just monumental, honestly.
Yeah, not giving up all that much soul finger
Yeah, the
might be
Soul
the pick
Stinger.
otherwise.
Yeah, Soul Stinger is decent. I imagine he's gonna want another stalwart here. Just a like I said, just a rock solid 2 drop. It has some evasion if you exert it. It becomes a 3/3 and can't be blocked by 2 power creatures. So just such a nice little 2 drop. Oh,
Something like Unburden goes to the graveyard, but it's not a permanent. It wouldn't add to the descent.
yeah, Unburden sort of solves the problem that Mind Rats have, which is in a lot of game states they're dead, but has cycling. So looks like he likes that. And there's a if near deadlands. That is again, if you're talking about you know upgrading a basic land, this is a removal. Hopefully
Yeah,
he's got his eye. Hopefully he ends up his cursor finds. Yeah, okay. I was waiting for his cursor to slide over and start reading that and realizing that card is excellent. And he also has
that'd
Mother
be,
Desert already. So
yeah. You can do it twice. That means.
yep, yeah, that's a slam dunk pick for me, and looks like he's coming to the same conclusion.
Oh, look at that miasmic mummy.
Yeah, well, it does what it says it does. 2 mana, 2
Mm-hmm.
2. Each player discards a card.
And you get a 2/2 on board.
Yeah, it's a zombie. That mattered back
Yeah,
then. Oasis Ritualist is a nice one. Usually that went in like the 3 4 color decks that were available to be drafted in once Hour of Devastation joined Amonkhet. Had a lot of these multicolor piles with that as like a very very important card. In this type
double
of deck,
ramp.
it's just kind of just a 4 mana dork. Nothing special, but still playable. Well, there's the card he banked on wheeling.
It's a good sign that it wheeled. To be honest.
Well, he did. I mean, it was way back in Pack One, but he did wheel the Golgari uncommon from LCI. I mean that
Yeah.
so somebody could still go into Golgari, but that was at least
You're talking about Akawali?
yeah, the
He has
seething
that.
tower. Yeah, he wheeled it in the first pack. So
Oh, that's what you're saying.
yeah. All right, so there's a Quarry Hauler. It can add or remove a counter from a permanent. Yeah,
Ooh, ooh. The MU has Sagas. I want to see that happen.
has sagas. Yeah, has domain. I don't know how. I don't think that's going to work very well here. So here's a Kudu. That card was pretty medium. 3 mana, 3/4, but you have to put a -1 counter on something. And kind of just a pretty bad pack for him here. Though the Soul Tender probably makes the cut. It does mill, which is nice.
Yeah, it's not great for his colors at all here. The
Yes,
last pack.
I mean the Soul Tender looks like it's going to be a reasonable role player. Mills 3, pay 5. After it dies, you exile from your graveyard and you get something back.
Kind of got to be the pick out of lack of other stuff.
It's
But
it's a slow and clunky Gravedigger.
mm-hmm.
Looks like he might be going for the trick instead here. Target creature gains Death Touch and Indestructible. No, looks like he's
There's synergy.
selected the Soul Tender.
Yeah, there's synergy with the Soul Tender here.
Yeah, seems to fit in with the plan.
Timeout. Shadow Prophecy overperformed. There's an instant draw effect. Obviously, Domain's not happening so much, and
Yeah,
I
so
don't know if you
it's
can be as slow as DMU was in this draft. But
yeah, it's just going to be a draw two. It's just going to be a look at the top two rather than look at the top three, four, or five. Splatter
hold
Goblin.
on.
Splatter
Yeah,
Goblin is
Splatter.
it's a fine two drop.
Yeah, there's some synergy. I don't know how many he took those cards that say put a -1/-1 counter on one of your creatures. That could be a little tricky thing at some point.
I don't think he ended up with any of them. I know he took the Ornery Kudu, but it ended up in the directly in the sideboard. Phyrexian Rager. Now there's a card I can get behind.
Baloth, Weather Seed Tree doesn't look that good. It performed pretty well though, but yeah, it's a domain payoff. You don't really want to be there.
Yeah, it was a
I think.
domain card. I mean, I guess he's looking at this five drop here just as a beater, but man, that Rager grabs my attention. Just it's a 2-for-1.
Magna Goth Sentry, 4 mana 4/4. Yeah, but he's looking at the uncommon here.
He does not really have good high drops. I mean, he has like the Digraph Horde and the Vanguard, which are good, but just wants another big creature up at the top end. That is what green is supposed to do. So let's get a big creature. Yeah, these packs aren't like amazing for him here. There's a Warhorse, but that's more of a sacrifice synergy. The Buldivine Atrocity never really got there. Could take a Broken Wings for
That's
sideboard. Like honestly, those effects are really good to have. Everyone's gonna have artifacts and enchantments. Like
true.
there was a couple artifact sets here.
You do that instant speed in this set.
Yeah.
It's interesting that the best fixing of the whole Mega Draft's coming in the last pack here.
Oh, the dual lands
Changes
are
up.
common. Yeah.
Yeah, really not good fixing in in most any of the other sets.
Well, whoever was drafting the three color deck, well, they got the three or four color deck. Here's their chance, and he's just once again. I think he's in the same mentality as me as like anything that can replace a basic land just is such a high pick. So it's just a dual land, but it goes a long way.
On color. Look at that, another Balduvian Atrocity. Someone's getting paid off in
Writhing
Rakdos.
Necromass seems good with his sort of his ability to potentially fill his graveyard a little faster than normal.
Oh yeah,
Costs one
could be.
less for each creature in your hero. So you can get that out for maybe 2 or 3 mana.
I've played a couple of those in a turn before.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the top end he's kind of looking for because it sort of goes with what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he put that start finish off at the sideboard. Just it, the white half is not castable and the black half is not good enough to just say, oh, maybe I'll mill it.
Yeah. Look at that archetype getting paid off, and then two of the last three packs he's gonna see the whole draft. He gets the top end there that synergizes.
Yeah, this wasn't really like a graveyard set. I mean, I know Herbal Repossession was sort of one of the one of the banner commons, but like there wasn't that many payoffs for filling your graveyard in this set. But this was one of them, and it goes, like I said, goes perfectly with what he has so far. Well, there's a turtle.
Creature, there it is.
If he wants a 3 mana 3/2 that is hard to kill and sometimes attacks with more power. The problem with that card is that the enlist does not pump toughness, so not great.
You could, if you had some equipment, maybe that'd be interesting.
Yeah, with my Sojourner, I loved casting that thing on turn 3 if I could. Just go tap land, basic. All you have all 5 types. Boom, here's the force things. But not quite on the menu here.
So no new pack.
Yeah,
That's
we're
fine.
down to our last few picks here, and then we'll be able to review the draft log afterwards. I'll have to get Johnny to send that to me once we're through. But well, here's a +2/+2 for 1 mana. Or if you
Yeah,
call,
maybe
or
not gonna make it.
even worse, if your color is screwed, it's just a +1/+1.
Probably not making the cut.
Nah, I think he put it directly in the sideboard. So he's still got a few cuts to make, but he's cut most of the real below average cards here.
There's a
But
lot of Rakdos payoffs I'm seeing. Even Garna was left wheeling. I don't think anyone's in Rakdos.
yeah, Rakdos was like actively bad in that set, but Garna is a good card. Well, there's your 2 mana 1/3 reach. A little change up on their usual 1/4. All right, so Joaquin first Megadraft got into black right away. To be fair, black didn't see too many black cards the last couple packs aside from the Necromasses, but it looks like he's got himself a Golgari deck here. So we'll see how he does when we get into round one in a little bit, and we'll be back shortly to look at what everybody else drafted.
Hey guys.